Lions got a big game this week in the Week 11. A big game in terms of the wild card race against the New York Giants. So yeah, playing the Giants this week. And this ain't the same Giants team before. It's a brand new Giants team. Like, it ain't the same Giants we faced before. So let's go into this game and let's talk about everything for this game. So, of course, for this game, the Giants, they're favored in this game by 3 points, which is a pretty respectable point spread there. Detroit leads the all-time series over the Giants 24-21-1, and Detroit has won 3 of the last 4 meetings against the Giants. Of course, Detroit, they're 1-3 on the road this year. And, the only road win came last week against the Bears. Finally, Dan Campbell finally get his first road win of the season. Of course, the Giants, it ain't going to be easy playing in Metlife Stadium, considering that the Giants are 4-1 at home this year. They're a pretty solid team at home this year. But yeah, also looking at some of the key players and their injuries, it's kind of crazy how with everything the Giants have right now, how the fuck they're 7-2 is a fucking mystery. Because the offense, of course, at quarterback, you have Danny Derps, a.k.a. Danny Jones. And the question is with Daniel Jones, is he going to be back next year, or is he just a placeholder? Like, the Giants, man, we only threw him back out there again because they literally had nobody else and had no fucking choice. Of course, at running back, you got Saquon Barkley. And questions are, will Barkley be gone after this season or not? Because we all know running back is a very expendable position. In terms of other receivers in this lineup, there is Kenny Golladay, which Golladay has sucked ever since he left Detroit and went to the Giants. To say that his contract is a massive albatross and a terrible contract in New York is an understatement. They do have Sterling. They are without Sterling Shepard as he's out for the year with an ACL tear, so that sucks for him. If Golladay gets his shit together, the only receiving option they really got left is Darius Slayton at tight end. But the main thing that's really kept the Giants in it has been the defense. Defense has playmakers. You got, of course, their rookie, Kayvon Thibodeau, which a lot of Lions fans were split on between him and Hutchinson. I think Thibodeau was a better athlete than Hutchinson, but I feel like Hutchinson was more of a culture and scheme fit than Thibodeau. And so far, Hutchinson has outplayed Thibodeau. It's looking like Hutchinson has been was the better choice at number 2 over Thibodeau. But it was kind of surprising that Thibodeau fell to the Giants at 5, because in the draft, I was thinking he was going to go 3 or 4 to the Texans or Jets. And then he fell to 5th, and I was like, now he's probably going to go to Giants at 5. But yeah, anyway, continuing on though, they are without Azeez Ojulari, as he's on the IR with a calf injury, and he's going to be out. He's not eligible to return until next week against when the Giants play the Cowboys. But the main piece that anchors their defensive line is Leonard Williams. As Leonard Williams is easily the best player on the Giants right now. That kid, he's an absolute beast on that D-line. Linebacking core, not a whole lot there. But the secondary, though, they got a few names in there. They did re-sign Landon Collins recently, and he's back in the lineup. They do got Adoree Jackson as well as Cordell Float. They are without Xavier McKinney, as he's on the NFL injured reserve list for a wrist injury. After Xavier, during his off week, decided to be a fucking idiot and break his hand while riding an ATV. Someone want to tell Xavier that you don't do dirt bike stunts on a fucking ATV. Those stunts are meant for dirt bikes, not quads, you dumbass. Anyway, continuing on, no, they're also not going to be without Aaron Robinson as he's out for the year with a knee injury. And Rodarius Williams is questionable for this game with a knee injury / ACL injury, so his status will be up in the air. The head coach of this team is Brian Daboll, and I'll be honest here, with the lack of talent this Giants team has and the fact that they're 7-2, I think it just proves that Brian Daboll was a good hire by the Giants. He actually might be the real deal. But but 1 year will not decide that. We'll revisit that in 2 or 3 years from now. Because what? Because we'll find out in the future. Is this year just a sign of things to come for the G-Men? Or is this year just a flash in the pan? But so far, Brian Dable off to a good start, though. Unlike also Kevin O'Connell, he's also the only other coach that's had a good run so far. Along with Mike McDaniels and everybody, a lot of the other coaches have sucked this year. Offensive coordinator, you got Mike Kafka. And the defensive coordinator, you got Don Martindale. The Giants' offense has not been that good this year. It's the 24th ranked offense in the league. They're 29th in the passing game. But despite all that, oddly enough, they're a top 5 unit in rushing offenses. They're the 3rd ranked rushing offense in the league. So even though the offense has struggled with Daniel Jones, Saquon has been able to help carry it off. So at least maybe Saquon is finally getting back to the form he was in his rookie year, because he was very good that rookie year, but the last couple years he's had issues staying healthy. But hey, maybe it's a good thing when Saquon's finally healthy and what his true value is to the G-Men. The defense has been the main thing that's helped carry the Giants this year. They're a mid-pack defense ranked 16th. They're 18th against the pass, but the rushing game is their big weakness, as they're 24th against the run. Obviously, the big key to the game is you got to run that ball. You got to feed Swift the ball. I'm not sure what the hell is going on with Swift, because he hasn't had that many carries and hasn't done a whole lot. Like, feed Swift the ball. You also feed Jamal too. Keep beating the ball to Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift. Like, Jared Goff just got to find a way to get some passing open to Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and everyone else, and spread that ball evenly, especially with the tight end set. And of course, some defense just got to do what they did this week. And this time, they should have a little bit easier path to get to the QB, since Daniel Jones isn't a mobile QB. If anything, Daniel Jones is just discount Eli Manning. So yeah, it's not going to be an easy game. I'm looking at my notes here. I'm still trying to figure out how the hell the Giants are 7-2. I look at their schedule, and most of their wins, they're undefeated against teams with losing records. They're 5-0 against teams with record below 500. But when they face a team 500 or better, they're 2-2. With the 2 wins being the Titans and the Ravens, and the 2 losses being the Cowboys and the Seahawks. So yeah, it seems like the Giants have been good against beating the teams they needed to beat. But when it comes to the teams above that have a winning record, they're just not that. They just struggle. But it's a mystery here. I honestly feel like with how the Giants get, I don't even know if this Giants team is legit or not. I think when they play Philadelphia later this year, that will be the true measuring stick. Or when they play a Cowboys team with Dak Prescott. Those 2 games there are gonna be the true measuring stick to see. And also when they play the Vikings later this year, if this team is truly for real or not. No, I think they have some potential, but I have my doubts. Yeah, I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I'm just not feeling it from the Giants. It's going to be a very low-scoring game. I'm actually going to think the Giants will win this game. I actually have the Giants winning this game because the Giants just seem to do good against the teams they need to beat. And the Lions just happen to have a losing record, but I don't know. Part of me also feels like the Lions could win this game too, because usually getting the first win of any kind is the hardest. But usually once you get that first win, more just seem to come naturally. And I feel like now that Dan Campbell got that first road win and got that monkey off his back last week against Jackass Tribe and the Bears, I feel like getting wins on the road might be a little bit more easier now from here on out. But the Giants won't be an easy task, as this will be the Lions' first of 2 games at MetLife this year, because they also got to come back there in December next month when they play the Jets. So yeah, the Lions are playing both New York teams this year in New York. Yeah, something weird. But yeah, I think this is going to be a very close game. I think it's gonna be a defensive game. I think it's gonna be a defensive battle between both teams. Like, I know NYG31's looking at the defensive rankings. All I say is don't get fooled by that. This defense ain't the same defense from the start of the year. Like, I think this is going to be a very low-scoring game. I think the Giants win this game 18-15. I think it's either going to be a low-scoring game or it's going to be a blowout in one team's favor. It's going to be one of the two, but I think the Giants will win this game by 3 points. It's just a very tough game here. Like, the Giants are undefeated against teams that are below 500. I feel like the Giants may continue that streak. However, though, I wouldn't be 100% surprised if the Lions win this game, considering that Dan Campbell is 2-0 against teams 5 or more games above 500. And oh yeah, the Giants, since they're 7-2, they're 5 games above 500. So, can Campbell make it 3-0 this Sunday and get another road win? I mean, 100% this is a winnable game for the Lions, but they just got to execute things a lot. Like, they just got to do what they did against Green Bay a couple weeks ago in that kind of defensive game. Just get pressure to Daniel Jones, because we all know once Jones gets pressure, he folds and fumbles and turns the ball over a lot. But I do think the Giants definitely need some receiver help. I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants make a run at OBJ. Because the Giants need a receiver and they really got no fucking choice. Because Shepard's out and Kenny Golladay ain't that good without Stafford. Like, it's a fucking miracle the Giants are 7-2. Like, 100% the Giants have drastically overachieved this year. Mainly taking advantage of a pretty weak schedule. Like, I feel like the Giants will probably take advantage of the weak schedule and make it into the playoffs on a wild card spot. But they'll more than likely get exposed in the first round of playoffs by a team that strives to have more than 5 wins, strives to be more than just mediocre. But I do think the Giants got some interesting pieces in place here, but they're gonna need a lot more though. They're making progress, but they need a lot more here. Especially with how much that Dave Gettleman has run the team into the ground. Like, I mean, getting Thibodeau and Evan Neal helped out. This helped out for the Giants, with especially getting that haul from the Bears last year. But I think the Giants definitely need a lot more, and they need to decide if Daniel Jones is the QB for this team, or if they need to go after somebody else in this class, like a C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young, or hell, even a Will Levis. I mean, the Giants got a lot of choices coming up in the offseason. But yeah, I feel like the Giants will win this game by 3 points, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions pull it out again and they get 3 in a row. 100% this is a winnable game. Like, I think if the Lions can win this game against the Giants, I think they will 100% be in that wild card race, and maybe playoffs could be a possibility if everything plays out and everything goes right. But yeah, gonna be a very interesting game. I think it's gonna be a defensive battle Sunday. We'll have to see what happens. Like, I'm more than likely gonna be way off of my score prediction, but hey, you know, you live through trial and error. But yeah, it's just going to be a very hard game. Like, I'm not sleeping on the Giants. I think the Giants are going to be a very tough team, because the Giants have done no bullshit this year. You know, I wouldn't sleep on the Giants. I think the Giants will give a good fight here. And I feel like the Giants will beat the Lions this year on the road. At home. But yeah, I got the Giants by 3. Wouldn't be surprised if the Lions win, considering that Dan Campbell's undefeated against teams 5+ games over 500. Anyway, I'm out. Good luck to NYG31 and all the Giants fans Sunday. May the best team win.